My name is Jack Chiu. I'm from the Chinese University of Hong Kong. I'm going to help kick off the discussion today by introducing a little bit of our conference theory history, and also the getting some feedback from yesterday, and probably sharing some highlights for today's program. But first, I'd like to, on behalf of the organizing committee, I'd like to thank OII, Professor Bill Dutton, Pauline, and all the staff at OII, especially for, I think this is the most beautiful, CIRC webpage we've ever got, with a really nice design and a really wonderful dinner last night for those of you who were there. And I'd like also to thank all the sponsors and institutional partners from PCMLP, another Oxford unit, the Writers Institute for the Study of Journalism, the Shanghai Jiao Tong University School of Communication, Peking University School of Journalism and Communication, and also the two Edinburgh schools, both of which I owe a lot. I graduated from USC Edinburgh, and also the UPenn Edinburgh. And also, I'd like to thank the Yano Center for Classical and Byzantine Studies for accommodating an internet study program. I don't think we will ever be able to make it to a Byzantine, but I think it's a good thing. We start to become part of the classics. And of course, the most important message is to welcome everyone to CIRC, and especially the new friends, but also the old friends, for joining our project. CIRC is a project that started 12 years ago, and this is the 11th annual conference, and this is a project of research and community building about not only China and internet, but also the world. Like this year's theme, we are talking about China and the new internet world. And this is a new world of intellectual curiosity, scholarly pursuit, and public engagement. And so before we start today's program, I'd like to, I'm asked to collect feedback from yesterday. Yesterday we had the ICA Preconference. Anyone could be, or organizing committee members, or anyone, who participated from yesterday's pre-conference, that you had encountered something unexpected, any feedback that you'd like to share, please feel free. How do you think about yesterday's program? We had some people who did not come yesterday, so they want to learn, what happened yesterday. Anyone? This is not a quiz, by the way. The Oxford, big exam were already over. Or anyone from our organizing committee? I will warm up. Very quickly. First thing I learned was I was running between different sessions. All right, that the fourth estate can be a very useful tool, conceptual tool to understand 薄熙来. That's something I didn't know, until yesterday. And also the China shaping internet in Africa. I was following Peng Hua's tweets. He's on the same page with me. We both like the discussion about China shaping internet in Africa. And also Miklos and King Hua's paper at the end. Miklos was comparing Weibo with the Samizdat, the underground print media in East Europe. So those are the fascinating things I learned yesterday. Just now, someone wanted to say something? Anyone? Any feedback or any other unexpected, nice, or Yes.
I learned that apparently taking a picture of yourself and then posting it on Weixin if you're a beautiful Chinese girl, rather than being narcissistic and selfish, is actually sharing acts.
Okay. I still, Weixin is still very new. This is WeChat. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you, Tom. Yeah, Dorothy, please.
I know it's so well known to you, but I've been saying it to myself ever since yesterday. It's the scale of the numbers in China that it's very hard to get your arms around. And so everything that was said, for example, I think it was May, yesterday was talking about the fact that there are more than 200 million rural immigrants to urban centers in China. That's the population of the United States. And so when you begin to put it in those terms, you begin to sense the enormity, that there are more people online in China than in the United States, for example. And Tom was talking about narcissism, and what you saw yesterday, for me, that was new, that was so exciting, is how people are sharing methodologies now, so that you're getting people presenting things based on global academic methodologies, so that you're in a position to compare findings in a way that we weren't before.
Thank you, Dorothy. Yes, Bill.
Well, just to follow up on that, Bill Dutton, we started the day with a session on how is China shaping the new internet world, and how is the internet potentially reshaping China in some ways. And various people rephrased that question, but we didn't answer the question yet.
That's why we need today.
So don't think that we resolved that issue yesterday. It's still alive and well, and so we're still looking for insight into those two issues. I think they're still valid questions.
Okay. Yes, Morel.
I'm partly channeling Ernie Wilson, the dean of the Annenberg School, but he put as a challenge to yesterday and to the CIRC how to get better collaborative research between scholars in China and scholars outside of China, and how to work on developing the research agendas of the universities in China. And it's a very interesting sociological question of what happens to, what are the lives of scholars in China? People who get masters in the United States or in the UK, people who get PhDs in the UK and US, go back to China, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't think there's been an effective mapping or scholarship about sort of this burgeoning life of scholarship, much of which is represented in this room, but isn't sort of analyzed and thought through, and what are the challenges in making for collaborative research. So I'm just channeling Ernie on this point.
Yes, that's a very important, idea. I actually, when I went to sleep last night, I was thinking about that, and when I woke up this morning, I was still thinking about it. Okay, and I'm calling it the. Yeah, it's I'm calling this, like, probably we can call this Dean Wilson's challenge or Ernie's challenge. Okay, it's indeed, we have been meeting every year for, some of you. How many of you were here for the first time we started this conference series? Please raise your hand. And also Bu Wei, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh, there are a number of us. So we have been doing this for 11 years. Okay. This is 11th birthday party. Okay. So we see each other once every year. But what Ernie's challenge is, can we do something better than seeing each other? Okay. And then sharing whatever we have been doing in the past year, but also something. Okay. I think in this sense, Ernie is very Chinese. Okay. Is that how can we create long-lasting impact? Okay. The next 10 years. Okay. Or even, I think last night after the wine, he was saying 1,000 years. Right? And then I think it's really about building, organic solidarity among ourselves, people who share, so that we're not just sharing what we have already been doing, okay, but also finding out new, areas of interest, okay. And I myself, for example, yesterday we were brainstorming, and I would welcome. Actually, this would be one of the things I'd like to, we start today, and at the end we can do a collective sharing again. Okay, two of the things I am personally very interested in. One is about internet and social movements. All or activism, okay? And the other one is also about digital cultures, okay? Different kind of cultural formations, okay? And I know Guobin Yang, okay, works a lot on this, okay? But then if other people share similar interests, we can start to do new things, okay? Rather than, just report what we have already been doing. And also the history part, okay? Can we, and Ernie even said, okay, he would love to put some resources down if there are people who can do serious China internet history, okay, studies. So let's hold that thought, okay? Let's share more, and then at the end of today, okay, see if we can start to build new things rather than just, okay, share old ideas, okay? New things that will be multi-years, okay, from now, and that's going to be having long-lasting impact. But before then, we have our organizing committee. Some of them are sitting, in front of you. Some of them are sitting in the front row. But I want to, because I am very biased, okay, myself, okay. I know my limitation, okay, and I'd like to get a diverse viewpoint, okay, from the organizing committee. So this is a smaller challenge than Ernest's challenge. Is to I want to ask everyone to use one word or one phrase, could be in English or Chinese, could be in Malay, okay, or Cantonese, okay, but you use one word to talk about. If people ask you, what is CIRC, C-I-R-C, okay, what is a CIRC is, there's a blank, all right, and how will you fill in that blank? Okay, and at the end of today, I want to ask all the participants, okay, especially the new ones who came here, okay, how do you think about CIRC, okay, what it is and how it can be better? So you need some time to introduce what is CIRC, especially to the new.
All right, I'll start. So one word, right?
Yes, or one phrase, yeah.
So PCH? No. Let me use something from Cantonese. So I will use loud, crowdedness as the way to do it. But it also means loud. For those of you who don't speak Mandarin or Cantonese, it means loud. Everybody just get together. And I think that's a very good way to describe CIRC because different people come here for different things. Some might just be for presentations, others to share their methodologies, some for catching up, and others trying to talk about grant funding, how to apply for projects together. And we always have side meetings in CIRC where people just get together. And so I think this is a great gathering. I think that represents it.
Lao, is that the
Lao? Yeah.
Lao. Okay, I hope my Cantonese pronunciation is right.
No, very
okay.
Yes,
Professor Wu Mei.
yeah, my word is bridge. Chinese Mandarin is qiao. It's like, I think a CIRC can be a bridge. It just answer that earnest question, or the Professor Price question about how these could be a platform to bridging these scholars in the West and the scholars in China, and also these young generation of the scholars. They were original education in China, but then they have a graduate studies outside of China, like Jack and me, and how we can make a contribution to the understanding of new media, not about the Chinese new media, but just the new media, the world. I mean, that is my
okay, wonderful bridge. So international, intercultural, intergenerational, internet bridge. Yes, Hong Hua.
Okay, I don't have one word, and my Chinese is not very good actually. But I have a phrase. The phrase is, "It's not the way you think," and it's because when you look at the Chinese internet, when we tried to organize it initially, many people say that we will only be studying censorship in China because that's all the internet is about in China, censored. And so all of us were trying to fight that and say, no, it's not. Internet is more than just censorship in China. There are many things to look at in China. There's market forces, youth, and so forth. And in a way, you've shown that it's much broader than just the issue of censorship and use of material. But even something like censorship is very curious because yesterday's session, was in that the one talking about censorship. It's very puzzling because the Chinese apparently collect all kinds of data. I mean, Jack would probably know more. They collect, in the airport the satisfaction index of it. Have you been to the airport, the toilets, right? That smiley and all that, right? And if you go to Chinese immigration, now I understand why. They have this, how did I fare, you know, green for smiley and all that, right? That data is collected by some central server so that you will know whether the guy is working or not. You didn't think about that, right? Satisfaction, right? You check whether the guy is working or not. And we were discussing, you know, then shouldn't this data be captured by the central government and then they will know whether people are working or not? Sort of like, okay, the equivalent would be like Obama looking down at the guy, you know, in the White House, or, you know, look whether cleaning the floor or not. But they don't do that. Somehow it's blocked at the municipal level, right? Or provincial level, rather.
Provincial, yeah.
So they have the data, but it is blocked at provincial data. So you're all like, no, why, right? So that's exactly the point. It's not the way it looks. It's just not the way it looks in China.
Okay, CIRC is not what you think. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one, yes.
I think the word that I would use would be to pick up a little bit on what Ernie and Monroe said, but also Wu Mei, is the idea of platform. That CIRC is a platform to talk about, to a much larger audience, what is the internet in China? What is the internet experience? What is that? In a secondary level, CIRC is a platform for young scholars to hone their craft, to run ideas past one another and past others. And so CIRC is a great platform to speak to issues of much larger importance in the world.
Roger or Ernie or, you know, Guobin, you know, and also Monroe, you have any one word to share? They're all part of our organizing committee this year, yeah.
I think the word that I would describe is, that I would use is thought, in the sense that the internet in China is a huge, it's a huge thing, and we need to think to understand it, and this is possibly a more difficult option than it seems. One of the things that I've noticed in my personal research is that working on China requires you to challenge the theoretical assumptions that you use. It requires you to challenge some of your basic insights into how a society works, how a society communicates, how society is organized and structured. It requires you to confront, I think as the Buddhist would say it, as a diamond that cuts through ignorance, to think deeply about what it is that is happening and how to interpret it that is happening, and it simply cannot be enough to sort of skip across the surface of the Chinese internet in the sense that we see so often in the news. Typical headline: Weibo users react against scandal. Yes, well, if you go to the Daily Mail website and you read the reactions of people posting there and take that to represent public opinion in the United Kingdom, surely the picture would not be pretty. So my question is always, how do we peel away through thought the layers of meaning that we deal with when we research the internet from all these different angles and disciplines that are represented here?
Okay, great. CIRC is about different levels of thoughts. Yeah.
I would say as a phrase, CIRC is research successes of the past and a vision for the future.
That's very high, highly, yeah, I'm very moved to hear that. Yes, Morel.
I'm just toying with the idea of circular, but I can't figure out how to do it. Because it doesn't have the right connotation.
Circular, yeah, circuit. Guobin, please.
I thought one letter would work for me, which is C, is CIRC, but also I've often thought about Chinese internet studies covering various C's: control, right? Internet control, internet contention, commerce, and C. as you know, as is happening at CIRC, it's more like conversation. CIRC is a conversation in various meanings. For instance, our objects of study is about really conversations on the internet, whether in visual forms or in textual forms, various forms of conversations, radical forms or entertainment forms. But also the kind of conversations that are taking place here is also important, not just in formal presentations at the panels, but also outside the seminar room, the very lively conversations taking place. So, see.
Very nice. That's the shortest we can get. I very much share all the C's that Guobin just mentioned. Okay, and I'm particularly glad that he did not mention C also stands for the Communist Party. Okay, he did not do that. I'm glad.
That should be included too.
Bill?
Yeah, well, I thought my word wouldn't last the first person, but it's clear to me after working with you this year that you're a network. You're a network. And I think a very strong network of academics. So I guess in Dean Wilson's challenge, it would be how do you grow that network without losing, I mean, you have a real collegial group of scholars, and how do you grow that without losing that kind of strong network that you have already?
So CIRC is a network.
I think so.
Okay. I couldn't agree with that more, because this is for the first time, okay, in CIRC's dozen-year history that we organize it in a network format. Okay, there's all this network of institutions and individuals working together, and it turns out to be marvelous. And this year's CIRC11 is not only the first truly networked in terms of organizational form, but also the first time CIRC is held on the other side of the Atlantic. Okay, in the past we've been doing in Asia or North America, either the West or the East Coast, but this is the first time CIRC come to EU, right? Come to UK. Okay, I have to be. I'm not sure about the EU part yet. Yeah. That's something I need to watch out. Yeah. But it's the first time on the other side of the Atlantic. Okay. And also the first time that we had parallel session. Okay, so everyone who's going to present today, okay, I feel so proud because we had a historical number of submissions, both in terms of quantity and quality. Okay, and the OII colleagues and the organizing committee worked hard and decided the 3 parallel is the optimum level. We could easily go to 5 or 6, but we decided, so it's very competitive, okay, for the papers to get in. Okay, so that's with that I would really like to thank all the participants who submitted papers, and to give a very quick so that we're making new history with this CIRC11, but very quickly let me give a recap in light of time, but maybe Peter can if I miss anything, please, or Randy or Penghua, please help me. But CIRC started 12 years ago, okay, in July 2001, when Professor Monroe Price sent ignorant graduate student, his name is Jack Cho, okay, to New York to meet then assistant professor Peter Yu, okay, in New York, and Jack and Peter started to cook an idea about having a annual internet conference, and then Jack and Peter were very lucky because a couple of years ago, Randy and Jack already started an online community of scholars and journalists. Okay, initially, okay, doing China internet research, and we were most fortunate to pull it off the ground at USC Edinburgh in 2003. Because of very generous support from the then Dean Jeff Cohen, okay, the predecessor of Dean Wilson, and then many people, including Professor Bill Dutton, was a keynote speaker in the first CIRC, and also Professor Tom Hollihan, Professor Patty Riley, okay, they were all there to support the beginning, and as well as Pu Wei, okay, sitting in the front. And that was the year when I remember Peter, okay, was not sleeping and telling me sleeping is boring, okay, while preparing for the first conference. And then the conference moved on, every year, to be held in other prestigious universities such as UC Berkeley, Michigan State. In Michigan State, we started a new tradition of student paper contest, okay, when Peter was the host that year. And so today, at the end of today, we will be telling you who are the winners of this year's student paper contest. There are 3 papers winning, right, this time. And then we went to Nanyang Technological University of Singapore. Okay, Peng Hua and Randy joined us. And then the following year, we're in Texas A&M, when again Randy, hosts the conference. So individually speaking, Randy still holds the record of hosting 2 CIRCs in a row, and that was followed by Hong Kong U, UPenn Edinburgh. Okay, Lokman Cui and Hongmei Li were the organizers at the time, and Lokman Cui was also a PhD student at the time. Okay, so there's actually it's not uncommon for postgraduate students to host this conference. And in 2010, we moved to Peking University, where Hu Yong, okay, yes, okay, Professor Hu Yong was the main host, right? And that year, ICA was held in Singapore. So we started a new tradition. I know in Oxford we have to always talk about traditions. We had a new tradition in 2010 was that CIRC became a formal ICA Preconference, okay? And that year, Professor Patrice Buzanel, okay, was the ICA chair, and she came to Beida to give the keynote speech of the year, okay? And that's a very nice tradition we still keep. So this year, yesterday's China and the New Internet World Pre-Conference was actually the first ICA event, okay, for the big conference. And Georgetown was 2 years ago. Han Teng Liao, OII PhD student. Okay, he was a visiting scholar at Georgetown at the time. Was again another PhD student held the that was CIRC9. And then CIRC10 was back in USC, okay, Edinburgh, for the 10th anniversary. And so still, USC Edinburgh hosts, as the institution, hosts the record of hosting 2, okay, CIRCs, okay, in 10 years. And it can only be surpassed by if we count Edinburgh School as 1 unit, okay? Then the 2 Edinburgh schools have done 3, in 11.
1 unit, 2 systems.
Exactly.
That's a good
Okay,
one.
so that's a short history that brings us to today. Did I miss anything?
No.
Or
No, you got it.
okay, then with this, I would like to conclude our first warm-up exercise. Okay, and today, I know you must have already done a thorough, study of the program of which sessions you want to go to. In case you have not decided yet, okay, we have. Let me highlight. Okay, there are some usual suspects. Okay, if you come often, but if you are new and you haven't decided yet, I want to highlight Professor Carl Wallace. He's presenting, I think, at noon today, and. I want to go to Kara's session, but I have to chair, but I cannot go. So you should go because Kara just received the very prestigious James Carey Media Research Award from ICA. Okay, so you should check out her latest work. And as I said, there are 3 student paper winners. Okay, for this year's CIRC. Okay, and Dr. Roger Kremers at the end of today will tell us which 3 papers they are, okay, and you need to guess, okay, which they are and why, okay, and it used to be, I was doing the job of explaining, okay, which 3, why they are winning, but, okay, Roger is our youngest member of the organizing committee and probably the most eloquent, okay, and so it's very nice he's going to do that. And also, okay, last but not least, at the end of today, we will announce where are we going next year. Okay, we would love to come back. Okay, but it's going to be another place. Okay, in another continent, in a city. Okay, full of great food and okay, including fish and chip. Okay, but many other attractions. But you will know where are we going next year. And I would love to collect at the end of today. Okay, we would love to hear your opinion on CIRC and how we can build sustainable organic solidarity. Okay, for the future. Thank you very much. So we start the 3 sessions. 2 sessions are downstairs.